So thanks again for joining me, folks. This is the Cats Pajamas bringing you guys the SC Reddit Open. Our first match is going to be on Shakura's Plateau. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner of Shakura's Plateau, we have our Red Terran player. He is NrGdde. His opponent up here in the top left-hand corner, throwing out the GLHF, is our Green Protoss player. He is GreenFish. So GreenFish versus NrGdde, a TVP matchup here on Shakura's Plateau. We are cross positions diagonally from each other. Of course, Shakura's Plateau, kind of a cool map. You have a nice wide open main, originally intended as a 4-player map, so you can spawn in 4 different possible locations, but of course, never vertically from each other. So I would expect, that we are in cross positions. It's going to be a nice, long, macro-oriented match. Take a look at the natural. There's only one direct entrance here into the natural. It is that nice wide ramp right there. So bases are very easy to take here. We are going to, unless Gdde opens up for something kind of weird. No, it looks like he's just ready to throw down that barrack. So everything all standard on his side of things. Taking a look at GreenFish, he's throwing down a forge. So a forge opening. I guess when you get paired against someone like Gdde, you feel compelled to try something out of the ordinary, slightly out of the box. And that is indeed what GreenFish is doing. So chrono boosting probes out at the moment. Let's see if this is going to turn into a forge fast expand or a full-blown cannon rush. That forge, about 2/3 of the way done, but he's not running a probe out of the way. He is starting to save up some minerals now. Dropping down a pylon near his expansion, so I think this will just be a forge fast expand. He is going to go ahead and scout the close positions horizontally first, but won't find his opponent. In fact, both of these workers are about ready to cross right here in the middle. And there they go. Maybe in the slightest possibility that they actually didn't see each other because they were passing through the bushes at exactly the same time. But nonetheless, GreenFish now running over to close positions horizontally, Gdde doing the same thing. Pylon now up for GreenFish. He is saving up for that Forge Fast Expand. He about has the resources for that, continuing to produce probes while this happens, though. Moving down with this probe, about to knock out that expansion. On Gdde's side of things, he's going straight into a 3-racks build. He has not put up any gas yet. In fact, I don't know if he intends to or if this is going to be a big marine rush. We'll find out. I generally hate speculation, so I'll try and stay away from that. But Gdde does have that very aggressive barracks build coming out. He is now producing multiple marines. One probe trying to get into the base. He is going to see those 3 barracks. But the marine does take out that probe. So fast expand down. Gdde does see this. He also sees the photon cannon. We'll see how aggressive he decides to be in attacking this. One marine already being sent out now, rallied across the base. Where is the rally point for these barracks? Let's follow that all the way back, as a matter of fact. It's going straight to the middle of the map, so he is going to be queuing a huge marine rush up to his opponent's base. No gas yet for Gdde. One SCV has made its way into GreenFish's base. He is now putting up a gateway as well. That marine has to watch out. He'll actually have to move up in force, otherwise those photon cannons will pick off those marines all day long. Gdde now gathering his forces outside of his base. More marines being rallied up at this time. Still no gas for Gdde. So he's really, really committed to this mass marine push. SCV is running around the back of the base. Thought he may have been intending to drop down a bunker at some point, but doesn't have that luxury now that a probe is chasing him down with a bunch of minerals as well. Probe running with a bunch of minerals. It is going to take quite a few marines to be able to knock down those photon cannons, however. Transfer of probes going down for GreenFish. He is chrono boosting some more out of his nexus as well, finally putting down a second gateway, but still no cybernetics core. So it appears as though he's going to bring up a bunch of zealots to go ahead and combat this mass marine push. 3rd photon cannon on the way as well, and I do think that he's quite well defended. Expansion now going down for Gdde, though. So he realizes he can't directly attack right now. Going to macro up for a little while. And just be prepared with those marines to intercept any zealots that start moving out here for GreenFish. So GreenFish is not producing any probes at this point, cutting a little bit of economy. I'm not quite sure why. He does have a cybernetics core coming up, producing more zealots all the time. Gdde now running back with his marines to just go ahead and defend his base. Soon as I say that, he turns them around. Gdde mocking me in-game. But Gdde is going ahead and throwing down his 2nd refinery as well. So at the very least, we'll have some upgrades soon. He did reposition one of those barracks. But he is gathering quite the force of Marines. Let's take a look at the Army tab. DDE is up by 12 food now, has a significant advantage in terms of Army. Now, he's down by 6 workers, but of course, with the fact that he has a mule up, his economy won't be suffering all that bad. In fact, we can see he's only a little bit down in terms of mining, but he is mining off of 2 gas right now, which means that his resource collection rate is almost the same as his opponent. So DD running up with a few more Marines, making this a gigantic force. Tech labs now being constructed on the barracks. We are going to see some upgrades here in the relative near future. Engineering bay down as well, so this is going to turn into a mass bio build. See if he carries it up with a few Marauders here in a bit, or if it's just going to be used for upgrades. Stim pack on the way. 1 Marauder is being constructed, so transition over to an MM force. Here comes DDE, though. He is just going to move in and attack. 1 Zealot gets sniped. The second goes down, but at the loss of 3-4 Marines so far. Units lost tab shows us DDE has actually lost 8 units altogether, so maybe a couple more going down there than my animations would have suggested. And DDE is going to start moving back a little bit. Did not snipe any of the photon cannons, only picked off 1 Zealot. But he does get a pretty good idea of what GreenFish's army composition is now. Has he scanned recently? I believe, no, I guess that was just what his SUV saw that was running around the base before. Because there is now a Twilight Council up that he's unaware of. I don't see any inclination towards a hidden Templar tech or Dark Templar or anything along those lines quite yet. We do have a 3rd and 4th assimilator coming down for GreenFish, however. And GreenFish is floating a ton of minerals at this point. I think he realizes that he's dropping down 3 more gateways, so he will be on a 5-gate Twilight Council build. The Forge is still up. It has not researched any upgrades, however, which is a little surprising. And DDE is now building a massive force, keeping his money very low, putting up 2 more gas, as he is going to transition into these very, very upgraded bio units. 4th barracks on the way. All 3 relevant MMM upgrades are being researched at the same time. And he's now going to move up. +1 upgrades is now finally on the way from GreenFish. It is 3 more. Gateways are about to finish. But here comes DDE now. And I do think that he has the force to start denting those photon cannons at the very least. Not many units off for GreenFish. He's finally starting to warp in a few more, but he's still floating a ton of resources. And DDE microing his Marauders to the front, throws down the stim. 1 photon cannon goes down, the 2nd and 3rd falling as well. All these units getting rocked for GreenFish. He doesn't have any sentries to force field them away either. So these bioforces basically have unlimited access to everything that GreenFish has. Another stim goes down. Look at the way these probes just melt. This Nexus is going to fall down here very soon, and GreenFish does GG. So DDE does take this around a 128 match off of his opponent, GreenFish.